Welcome to Just John and April, the relationship podcast, your place for life, love, and laughs. In today's episode, Kevin's childhood baggage, questions we want answers to that really don't matter, and word of the day. I have something to talk to you about.
Okay, wait. You didn't even greet me.
I'm sorry.
Something must be going on.
Yes.
Well, first, before you say anything, can I comment on the smell of our breath right now?
I know you did not have to say that.
We just had Chipotle.
That's true.
And mine was riddled with with onions in the guacamole and the and the pico de gallo and stuff like that. And so what I'm really saying to our listeners is you better be happy you're not here right now. This whole room. There's a thing that April's family says when something smells like an entire room. They say you're alarming up the whole room. It's like an alarm, not for your ears, but for your nose. This room is alarmed up right now.
Alarming it up, definitely.
With some serious. But you too. You had the same amount of Chipotle as I had.
It doesn't do me the same way.
Okay. Anyway, what do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I want to talk about. I've been wanting to tell you this since Monday, that I really think that school for kids needs to end right after spring break. Hold on, let me finish.
No.
Spring break,
and
then 3 weeks school out.
First of all.
That's what needs to happen.
Now, first of all, hold on.
Because
Hold on. Do you understand the only people that listen to this podcast that are going to agree with you are other teachers?
Well, I do know that.
Okay.
Look,
parents hate when school is out.
I know that.
Normal parents hate when school is out.
I know that.
You, your mother, my mother, the teachers that we know.
I know.
They're the only ones that agree with what you just said.
Yes. School should be out 3 weeks after spring break. Because it's like, okay, after Good Friday, really, after Good Friday, that's it.
Right.
Spring fever hits the children. And it doesn't go down. That fever does not go down.
First of all, I've been married to you almost 20 years. You've been teaching that entire time. You say this all the time.
I know.
But what always happens is, like a couple weeks before school ends, the kids are all mellow, and you're like, man, this is going so well. And for some reason, when it gets toward the end, you don't talk like you're talking right now.
Because it's over.
That's not why.
Yeah, it is. When you know you only 2 weeks out, it's just, this is the hard time when it's like 4 weeks left.
So
five
you've been saying the same thing
left.
for years, but this is your only second time teaching middle school.
Right.
Are you saying middle
It's
school
different.
kid, are they worse?
I mean, it's middle school. When I tell people that I'm a middle school teacher, the response is always, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
Or you deserve a medal.
Or you deserve, oh, wow. The Lord must have called you.
Right.
I mean, and they're great.
Yeah.
I've had awesome times with my children during these,
right.
After spring break days.
Right.
But that does not mean that school does not need to end 3 weeks after spring break. That's all I'm saying.
So real quick,
anyway.
before we move on, though, I want to say one more thing about this. To me, I don't know why it's so funny. So I like seeing memes. Memes are hilarious to me.
I love
but
memes.
the funniest memes in the world, I don't know why, are teacher memes toward the end of the year. Dude,
they're stampede.
them just have me dying.
Like a stampede.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
It's true, man. It's true.
They're good. And I don't know why you don't make up your own. You should make up your own meme this year. You really should.
I'm going to. So we're going to talk about Kevin.
Yes, Kevin.
Because actually, I'm going to be honest with you. I actually did not like Kevin for a long time.
I still don't like Kevin.
You don't even know Kevin.
You're right. I've only seen 3 episodes.
Oh my
but still,
goodness. Okay, you
I
don't
don't
know
like
Kevin. But
right.
I did not like Kevin for a long time because I just didn't like that Kevin was always sulking. He was always feeling sorry for himself.
Right.
Everybody had a better life, even though he had a lot of things going for him. It was like,
woe is me.
Sulk town.
Right.
Woe is me.
Right.
And that irritated me.
Right. Okay.
So the episode that changed that for me, though, was when they looked back at what his perspective was of life.
So
how they go back and they look at each one of their perspectives?
I just want to stop for a second. For all those who do not watch This Is Us, I think this is one of the better features of the show. Again, I can't say I'm a fan of it. April obviously loves it. But anyway, I think one of the better aspects of the show is how they dive into why it is that these characters are the way that they are.
Right.
And that's the thing that I like, because to me, people are not as simple as you think they are. When we encounter a person and the person rubs us the wrong way, or they make us upset or something like that, a lot of times there's a story behind why they are the way that they are.
Yeah.
And so you may have a person at work that's a jerk that you don't like or something like that.
There's
if you were
always
able
a
to see,
backstory.
if you were able to see their backstory, it might change your opinion. So that's one of the things I like about This Is Us. They put something on the screen, they get you all upset about it, and then they show you why they're like that, and you start feeling sorry for them.
It's true.
You're like, oh man, I wish I hadn't thought that.
Or you're more understanding.
Correct, that's true.
Because that's what happened with Kevin.
Right.
It's like, okay, I get it now. I understand. So we're going to focus on the baggage that Kevin brings to his relationships. Because he just seems to have the most baggage. Now, they all have baggage.
Yeah, they do.
But Kevin seems like he has the most baggage. I'm going to tell you why. I think, and this, you may not agree with me, but I think Kevin felt like growing up that he was not loved as much as the other two.
Oh, okay.
I felt like when I would watch his perspective, or you watch the others' perspectives, you would see him kind of sitting in the background, again, sulking.
Okay.
Or sitting in the background looking out like, man, you're not doing that for me.
Right.
At least that's what it looked like. Even when he was a kid, you would see that. So, once, it was like Randall is the adopted child.
Right.
So he gets special treatment.
Okay.
Because,
he's
don't
black,
want to.
he's adopted.
He's black, he's adopted. You
They're
don't,
a
you
white
want to
family.
make sure.
They want to be sensitive to him, all that stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. And then you have Kate, who is the youngest girl.
And she's the only girl. She's the only
girl.
Right.
She's going to be babied, or she's going to be catered to,
Right. Right.
And then mom was concerned about her weight, so she was always, and so, and dad was always Jack was always trying to basically keep Kate happy, because he knew that it was easy for her to go into a sadness,
like a little depression kind
like
of
a little
thing.
depression kind of.
Yeah.
As a child, she'd had these facial expressions like, and then when daddy would come, Jack would come and do his thing with her, and then she'd brighten up. So that was his job.
Right.
And that made her happy,
right.
In life. But Kevin seemed like he was always a little rebellious too.
Yeah.
And I think it's because he was mad at the world.
Yeah.
Here comes Randall, because he wasn't really nice to Randall.
Right.
He wanted his dad's attention, and it's like, to me, it made him someone who was mad at his circumstances.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So he was upset at what his family life was like, but then he loved it a lot.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's kind of like a thin line. It was like, okay, I love them, but I don't like that I'm not getting these things that I need.
Okay.
And he may have needed those things,
Yeah.
but they really didn't have the energy to deal with Kevin.
Right.
They had to deal with Randall.
Uh-huh.
They had to make sure he didn't have an anxiety attack.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they had to make sure Kate didn't overeat.
Right.
And get depressed. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like all of that.
Yeah.
So, once Jack died, I think
That's the father, right?
Once Jack the father died, I think that is what really set the baggage on him fully. You know what I'm saying? That then he began to take into every relationship.
Yeah.
So he's got this baggage. He's upset at the fact, of course they were all upset at the fact that the dad passed away and the way he passed away.
Of course.
And so.
But there seemed to be some level of estrangement between him and his father when his father passed. I don't really know that for sure because I didn't see the episodes, but I feel like when I've come in and watched little things and little things have been referenced in other episodes, it feels like he's dealing with maybe some guilt associated with things that he never patched up with his dad before his dad died.
You're right. I
Yeah.
think there was
Yeah.
things that, and once someone passes away, you're like, man, I wish I had,
Right.
and I
Yeah.
think he definitely dealt with that. And that's why in the recent episode, when he found his dad's brother, he was so animate about making sure that he, had a connection with him. And he
Yes.
thought it was going to be like Randall finding his father. And that
okay.
situation went really well.
Yes.
And it didn't.
Right.
Kind of backfired on him. So
Right.
again, he began
Right.
sulking, which,
Right.
I
And
gave
that-
him a pass this time.
Right.
But
and then he has a drinking problem too, doesn't he?
and he has a drinking problem just like his dad.
Right.
Because his dad, Jack, did too.
Right.
And of
Right.
course, it's just to mask all the baggage.
Yes.
You know, it's to get away from the reality of life.
He's trying to numb all the pain from
Exactly.
life. And
Right.
yeah, okay.
And so
Wow, that's a lot.
it is.
Yeah. So
And-
it sounds like to me the family in general deals with the collective baggage of the father's death.
Yes.
That in some way, shape, or form that informs their current relationships. And each one has baggage. You probably could entitle the show, We Have Baggage,
right?
Instead of This Is Us,
That's
because
true.
it's similar,
right?
But I think what I like about it too, and this is one of the things about the show that I think I've been enjoying so far, is that I think everybody has baggage.
They do.
And I think there are levels of baggage, and there are things that we have in our minds that's worse than others and stuff like that. When we really look back on it, no one grew up in a perfect family.
Right.
Every family had some aspect of issue somewhere. And even if you didn't have it in your family, you may have had it in previous relationships with other people and stuff like that.
True. And
the question is, are you bringing those things into your new relationship? Is your baggage affecting your current relationship? That's really what we want to talk about. We want to make sure that what we first want to do is encourage people that everyone has baggage. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not crazy for having it.
Exactly.
Secondly, we want you to sort of embrace it, meaning just admit that you have it, know what it is, and try to look at it. And then thirdly, try not to let that thing dictate the way that your relationship is going right now.
I think the goal needs to be to take the baggage off.
I agree with that.
Put it away,
Yeah.
put it down,
Yeah.
throw it away, give
Yeah.
it away.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, I guess you don't want to give it away, but
So
you
then
want to get rid of it.
So then let's start with that premise then, because I think there may be some disagreement there.
Okay.
Sounds like
Maybe.
your theory is that not all baggage is something we have to carry with us. Meaning, just because it happened and it was traumatic and it happened in your life and all that, doesn't mean you necessarily have to carry it around with you everywhere you go.
You do not have to carry it around. I think you can put it down, and sometimes you might have to pick it up.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
you have to be able to get to the point where you can control the baggage. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, I know that's but it's true, because something like the death of a parent
Yes.
is going to be hard to let that back, because it's baggage.
Yes.
It is. I mean, it baggage, like you said, can be in different shapes and forms or whatever.
Can be different categories
Or whatever.
different
So,
levels.
Yeah. So it is a part of your baggage,
Yeah.
because it could cause you to have difficulty being able to be with somebody because you're afraid you're going to lose them.
Yes.
So you can't give your all because you're afraid you're going to end up loving this person like you loved your father or
Right,
mother.
right.
And then they pass away, and then, you have to go
Yeah.
through that again.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
still baggage. But I think that someone can learn to put that baggage down in order to have a healthy relationship. And you might have to pick it back up and cry.
Yeah.
Or,
True.
deal with it for a
Yes,
moment.
yes.
But then you got to take it off again.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So if it's a certain level of baggage, maybe it's traumatic to the point where it's not possible for a person to take off that baggage unless they get some kind of professional help
I agree.
or something like that.
Definitely.
So that's probably the deepest level that we'd probably say.
Yeah.
I think there's a level in between. Like there's a level where it's low level baggage, where it's no big deal, where we probably could easily just shake it off. Then I think there's the big time baggage where you probably need professional help to get rid of it. But I think there's a baggage in between there.
Okay.
A baggage that certain people like to carry because we like having drama in our lives.
Whoa.
I actually believe that there's some baggage that we should have let go of a long time ago, and we have the ability to let go of, but it almost defines us, and we almost don't know who we are without this baggage, so we don't want to get rid of it. We complain about it all the time. Remember how we were talking about the other day about stress, about how somebody walks up to you and says, "How you doing?" You say, "Oh man, I'm so stressed," and you say it almost like as a badge of honor because it means you work hard.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
a mislabeling because we don't think stress is actually a good thing. Well, I think it's similar with this. I think
Wow,
I think
I
some
never thought about
people
it like
I think some
that.
people like the baggage that they have because they've lived with it for so long that if they were to get rid of it, they almost don't know who they'd be anymore.
Oh my goodness, that is
Who am I
deep.
without it?
That is deep.
So some of this stuff that we hold on to is affecting
Yeah.
our relationships, and we have the ability to get rid of it, but we don't want to because
I have got to go back to that because that's such a strong statement, and it's true. And I noticed that now that you've said that, I noticed that people who have been cheated on,
yes,
I mean, it's like holding on to that is actually like an armor.
yeah,
Because what it does is it keeps them from being hurt again.
yes,
Or
yes,
cheated on again.
Yes,
Or going through that
yes,
again. So
yes.
they use that baggage more so as an armor.
Okay. So what you're saying is that if we have a certain kind of hurt that we've gone through, our natural defense mechanism is to say, I don't want to get hurt like that again.
Oh, yeah.
And then we put on something to protect ourselves from being hurt like that again.
Right.
But that same protection actually keeps us from being able to love or feel as deeply.
Right. It keeps you from being able to be vulnerable enough to say, hey, here's my heart.
Right.
I'm putting it in your hand, and you can crush it or not.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's
and so it's
that
like,
is.
that's risky.
It is.
And really, you have a choice.
It's true.
You can say, you know what? I choose not to go through a relationship again because I cannot feel that kind of pain.
Right. Or I'm going to go into the relationship, but I'm just not going to give myself fully over to this person.
That's true.
Yeah. And then I'm going to hold myself back a little bit.
And you can never really go to that next level because you are holding yourself back.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of relationships right now that are not reaching their full potential because they're keeping their armor on because they don't want to be hurt again. The only way for me to really love April as deeply as I do, I have to allow her to be able to crush me. She has to have the ability to stomp on my heart and throw it in the trash.
Oh. I'm going to stomp on it and throw it in the trash.
Right. But I'm saying I don't think she would ever do it. She has not done it. But let's be honest though, babe. We have hurt each other before. I mean, we've hurt each other in arguments. We've hurt each other in conversations.
Right.
We've done things and said stuff to each other, probably not deliberately, but maybe as a reaction to just feeling hurt previously.
And then you come back and
you come back with something that's hurtful too.
You're not intending. Later you're like, I wasn't trying to hurt you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Wow.
And you know what? When we say we've hurt each other,
it's
not even close to
not the kind of hurt that real people have hurt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm saying
people are out there that have had real hurt.
We're talking infidelity.
Right.
We're talking abuse.
Yep. Sometimes physical, but sometimes
sexual abuse.
Sometimes emotional abuse.
And so that kind of hurt is a next level hurt.
And that's the kind of hurt that probably needs professional help. Yeah.
Probably do for all those. You're right. I mean,
Yeah.
especially probably, as a couple, you would need that professional help.
Yeah.
Somebody who can mediate.
Right. Exactly. Anyway, bottom line is there's a lot of baggage that's infecting and affecting people right now and affecting relationships. And I think that we should not allow baggage to take over. And I think one of the ways that baggage takes over is that you're in denial that you have any baggage.
Ooh, denial.
So if I act like I don't have any problems, there's no issues, there's nothing in my past, there's nothing I've dealt with, whatever, then what ends up happening is I really am never in a position to ever notice that this is something that could take control of my relationship. If something looks like something that you've experienced before, oftentimes we project onto our significant other something that they've never actually brought to the table. We're projecting onto them something that comes from our own experience.
Something that Tommy did
when
you were with him 3 years ago.
That's right. And that's not really fair to Johnny that you're putting on him what Tommy did to you 3 years ago. That's really not.
It's true.
So I'm saying we have to be open to the idea that we all can be affected by baggage.
Right.
We have to figure out what our baggage is. Maybe we should categorize it and figure out what level it is and figure out, do we need to go get professional help? Is this something I just need to acknowledge and stop blaming him for things that has nothing to do with him? Or is it something that I'm holding on to because it's my identity now or whatever? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I think we can get to a point where we can actually have some healing and where it doesn't negatively impact our relationships.
Yeah, because I do think that sometimes we can take the baggage and then become a victim.
True.
And then that's how you live. You live like a victim.
Right.
And so you cannot get deep into a relationship.
True.
Because if you're always the victim, then you're never wrong.
That's right. That's true.
And you always have a reason why
that's right.
you act the way you do or you respond the way you do, whether it's negative or positive or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's not really fair to the relationship.
It's really not.
You know?
No. And you're not giving your relationship a chance to really thrive when you do that.
Okay, so I have two things that I think we need to talk about.
Okay.
Your upbringing can cause baggage.
Agreed.
Okay, because we talked about just now how past relationships, right? But your upbringing, that's some baggage that really, to me, is one that we can be in denial about.
Yes, absolutely.
Because that's baggage from parents, siblings, family members, school, teachers, whatever.
Right.
So you can have that baggage that you bring into life with friend relationships, any relationship you're in.
And the thing about that kind of baggage is because it happened in your formative years when you were younger, your experience with that baggage is different than would have been if you were an adult. Some of these things probably are minor, but when you're an 11-year-old, it's a major thing for you. It's not a little thing. You know what I'm saying?
And then when you're that age, your perspective is so different.
That's right. Yeah.
That you really don't know how it was.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
You look back on it now and you think it was the worst thing in the world, but you can't really remember what it actually was like.
Right.
That's
And
true.
you may not know those details that parents never told you as to why things were the way they were.
True. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I mean, you have some people who deal with a parent like Kate,
Right.
who constantly had someone talking about their weight.
Yes.
That goes with you all the way till you are dead.
Yeah.
I mean, family baggage,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah,
big one.
yeah.
But I think one that is serious,
Yes.
that a lot of people deal with that we don't really talk about. We talk about baggage from past relationships, but there's baggage that is created in the relationship you're in now.
Wow.
So you actually go and get a book bag.
Right. And start filling it up with stuff.
Put it on your back, and you carry it within your marriage.
Wow. Or
Or within your just your dating.
so you're saying it
with
doesn't have
somebody.
to be
You're with
something that happened
somebody.
in your past or whatever. It could be something that you're creating even now in
Even
your relationship.
Now in your relationship. You know, you have never been with somebody who begins to look at other women, right?
Yeah.
You have never had any self-esteem issues.
Wow.
You've never had that baggage,
Right.
which some people have from their childhood. They
Yes,
have self-esteem.
right.
But this, you never had it. All of a sudden, you wondering, am I good enough for him?
Wow.
You've never had that. You've never
Right.
even asked. So now
Right.
you have to go through dealing with, wait a minute.
Right.
I'm thinking about myself differently.
right.
This is not me.
Right. Yeah.
You're becoming a different person now.
Wow.
Baggage it almost molds you into who you are, who
Right.
you become.
Right. It can.
It can.
Right.
But usually it just does.
That's true.
Because we don't
We don't
come at
acknowledge
it this
it.
way.
Right. You're right.
Okay?
You're right.
So here's this created baggage now.
Right.
So now you have to deal with the fact that you are changing the way you even see yourself,
Right.
doubting the relationship,
Right.
and then you're always looking around saying, does he want to be with her?
Wow.
Is that the kind of woman he wants me to be? Oh, he's looking at her. Is that how he wants me to look?
Wow.
That's deep.
Yeah. That's true. Wow. So baggage sounds like it can be debilitating and can actually unravel a relationship.
Oh, yeah.
And I think baggage loses its power the moment we acknowledge that it's there.
Oh, man.
I think baggage has power over us.
That's a start.
The longer we act like it's not there.
Yeah.
But the moment we look at it and say, okay, I realize what this is, I'm going to categorize it and figure out how I can deal with it. I think that is a huge win for your relationship.
Oh, yeah.
Your relationship can start moving
Yeah.
in the right direction because we're acknowledging our baggage.
And this is how you acknowledge it. I do not trust my husband, or I do not trust my boyfriends because I had a deadbeat dad.
Right.
He was not around.
Right.
He never kept his word.
Right.
So that's why I do not trust you.
Right.
Not because you've shown me
It's not 'cause of you.
It's not because of you.
Yeah, right.
Even though I'm putting that label on you.
Right.
But it's being put on you unfairly.
Right.
I am sorry.
Yep.
And I'm going to put that bag away.
That's right.
You know?
And you may deliberately have to put the baggage away every day.
Every day, deliberately.
With some of these things,
Yeah.
it may be something you have to constantly do.
Yeah.
Some of these things you can put down once and walk away from it, and that's it for that.
Yeah.
But some of the other stuff is probably going to keep coming back to you. And, just got to make sure that you know what it is.
Yeah. Okay, so one more thing on this topic before we end.
Yes. What?
I'm about to ask you to reveal some things. So I want to
Okay.
get personal here.
All right. Let's get personal.
Do you have baggage?
Absolutely.
Would you like to share?
Yeah. Do you have anything?
I asked you first.
I know you did, but I need more time to think.
I definitely have baggage.
Something that you actually want to share?
I think I have baggage when it comes to my intelligence, I guess you would say. I didn't really have a good experience once I hit middle school. When it came to teachers and I had some good teachers, but there were times when I didn't feel like they treated me as if I was smart. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I always doubt my smarts, you could say. And I'm like, should I have said that? Am I saying that right? Am I, I don't think I can do that because I'm not that smart. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But of course, you have really helped me with that. And so I feel like maybe I am smart now.
Right.
But I still holding that baggage where I'm always like, nah, you're not really that smart.
Right.
Even though my parents always lifted us up in the home as far as beauty and intelligence and being good people or whatever. But and that's why I'm a teacher now, because I just feel like teachers can really make or break kids.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They can actually put baggage on kids about who they are, their smarts, and those types of things. And I think that it only takes one teacher. Yeah. Because it only took one teacher for me.
Right. I had a similar experience where I didn't feel smart for a long time, and then when I got to college, there was one teacher who made me feel smart, and that changed my whole trajectory. Yeah. But I did think of some baggage that I carry. I'm not sure I've ever told you this, now that I think about it. Maybe I have. I don't know. So I think we've talked about this before, that I'm a pastor's kid. People know we're both pastor's kids. We both have really good dads. We love them, and they loved us. Yes. Early on, though, in my really young years, my father was a very, very talented young pastor who ended up getting sort of roped into a lot of things when I was little. And so he was gone a lot on trips and traveling and things like that. And something happened dramatically. I remember how old I was and when things changed. And apparently my mom and dad had a conversation. Well, my mom said, you know, I'm not a single parent. I was about 11 years old. We were living in California. And something changed, and Dad changed the way that he was available. All of a sudden, now he was available much more than he had been before. And it was great. I actually don't know what kind of person I would have turned out to be had he continued to be as busy as he was when I was little. So here's my baggage. I'm constantly doubting whether or not I spend enough time with my family.
Man, really? Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know if you know. If you think back to situations where you say certain things to me, you'll notice I'm sometimes overly sensitive about those things, and it's usually around whether or not I'm around enough.
It is.
Right. Yeah. I'm always sensitive because I always want to make sure that I'm doing it. And so I'm always worried that I'm going to repeat the same thing from my early childhood. So anyway.
Wow, I did not know that. Right. I actually thought that the reason why you responded like that is because I was nagging or something. I had no idea it was the baggage. See, that's why you got to admit it. So you don't put it on me.
Well, the funny thing is.
Wow. What a wonderful example. Thank you. Sitting down in a quiet place. Right. We don't have many quiet places these days. Yeah. Quiet room and just think. Yeah. Why am I who I am? Right. Why? Right. Why do I question whether or not people like me? You know, what is it that makes me insecure about my body? Why am I always wondering if I am doing things right or not? You know, and those types of things. Or why can't I trust a man? Right. You know, those are things you have to answer to. Right. And then once you do that, you can say, man, it's because my mama didn't trust my daddy. Right. And this is how she showed me.
Right. Right. Yeah.
I have never had a guy treat me any kind of way to make me not trust. But I had someone that showed me not to trust men at an early age. And so I will never trust them. You know?
That's not your example.
No, I'm
you're just creating something.
Yeah, I'm just creating
I want to make sure that's clear.
No, that's clear. That's not my baggage. I'm just saying if you are, if that's something you can admit, right, then man, I feel like you can go so far now.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Get rid of that baggage, y'all.
Yeah,
for
put
real.
it down.
Yeah. Don't pick it up again.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now we got questions we want answers to that really don't matter. All right, so April and I are going to ask each other one question each. This is one question that we have to be honest with each other about. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, go ahead.
This is a question that I think a lot of women want to ask or want to answer to.
Okay.
And we make jokes about it and stuff behind your backs.
Okay, so we don't know.
You don't know that we talk about you behind your backs.
Okay.
But I'm going to bring it out.
All right.
Why do men act like babies when they get sick?
Ouchie.
Seriously. Like they turn into just... like you can't do anything.
So, okay, well, before I answer the question, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Are you suggesting that you do not act like a baby when you're sick?
I am, because you have to make me... You be mad when I get up and I'm sick. be like, get back in the bed. Why are you trying to do? Why
true.
are you getting up and getting that? And I'll be like, well, it was right there.
Okay. Here's the problem with the question. The question is, I don't think I act like a baby when I get sick. Huh? But maybe I do. So, all right. Here's the answer. The reason is because I think that when we are at our full strength as men, we feel, manly. But then the moment we are sick, we can't do the stuff we normally do.
So you might as well just go all out.
Yeah, man. We just go ahead and just, you know what I'm saying?
Just go all the way.
Yeah, just go all the way.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
so funny.
And I do think there's a desire for us when we're sick. We kind of retreat into the way we were when we were boys, and we want our wives to kind of mother us during that time. Or, you know what I'm saying? I think that probably has something to do with it. I don't know.
That sounds like a good answer.
Yeah. So anyway, do you want me to stop doing that?
I'll accept that.
No, first of all, I barely get sick.
He never gets sick unless you have big surgeries or cancer.
That's true.
Or,
good point. I did have a couple of doozies on there. You forgot about that.
But a cold, the flu,
right.
he won't get those.
Right. But shouldn't I be able to have a baby when I have cancer?
Oh yes.
Okay, good.
Definitely.
All right, just making sure.
Definitely.
All
And you
right.
didn't though, actually.
Oh. Well, that's good.
You were different during that time.
That was
it was a
different.
different kind of.
We'll
talk about that later.
Another episode. Okay, so here's my question.
Okay.
And this is a question that I think all men have for women too.
Really?
Especially, not men for women, husbands for wives.
Okay.
Definitely. What do you think we're going to answer when you ask us, does this make me look fat? Do you actually want an answer to that question? Like, I can't understand why wives ask their husbands that question. It's a trap. It's a trap. How do I answer that? If the answer is yes, am I supposed to say yes? Do you actually want an honest answer to, does this make me look fat?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest.
Please.
It's like I do want an honest answer, but then I don't.
Exactly. You don't. I know you don't. You want no honest
True.
answer?
I mean, I do, but like you have had to tell me because I don't say fat. I say, does this make me look frumpy?
Right.
Yeah,
you have many different ways of saying.
Or does this make me look round?
Right.
I will say that. One time you had to tell me the truth.
Okay.
Oh, I was so hurt.
Really?
Yes.
What did I say?
I was so happy you told me the truth.
Well, what did I say?
You were like, well, babe, that kind of looks a little.
Really?
You didn't even have to say anything
I
after that. That was it. And
so I didn't just say yes.
No.
So I did good.
Yeah.
So
that's the point. We don't want you to say yes.
Okay. You don't ever want us to say yes.
No.
But
we do want the truth, kind of.
You want us to find a way to tell you that that's not a good looking outfit without actually admitting that it does make you look fat.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right. Because you said, well, it's kind of, and I was like.
Were you mad at me after that?
No.
You're lying.
I was a little sour. Not at you. I was just like, man. No.
What's my point? It's a trap.
I wasn't.
It's a trap. It's
not
dirty.
a trap.
For
Ladies, I want to know if you agree with me. So comment and let us know.
I would love to hear comments on that.
I would too, because that's how I feel.
Right.
But some women might say, yes, I want my man to tell me that I look fat. You know what I'm saying? Period.
Right.
Okay, now it's time for word of the day.
Word of the day. What is it?
The word of the day is discard.
Discard. That's a good one. Wow.
Yes.
What does it mean?
So discard means get rid of someone or something. And we can talk about getting rid of someone in another episode. Okay. As no longer useful or desirable.
Wow. So
no longer useful.
That's what we should be doing with our baggage then.
So you know what that says? That says we use our baggage sometimes.
Wow.
We actually open that thing up.
Wow.
Take it out and use it.
Right. Man.
So we need to discard.
Let's discard it. Yeah. I'm done with mine, babe.
Good.
That's it.
Me too.
Getting rid of it.
All right. Thanks so much for listening to Just John and April. Until next time, follow us on Facebook at John and April, on Instagram at Just John and April, or you can email us at johnandapril2000. Go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell so you can know when the next episode is coming out.
I think it's johnandapril2000 at gmail.com.
Oops.
No problem. See you later, guys.
Bye.
You, my father.